All right, let's get on my topic.
Speaking of Japanese things,
yeah, I'm going to talk about Puyo Puyo Tetsuo. No, that is a very Japanese game. No, I'm going to talk about Nintendo finally officially announced an alternate version of their popular, awesome, handy dandy console, the Nintendo Switch.
Oh, they're coming out with a pro version?
Yes, but that is yet to be hardened out, the details specifically. Oh. Maybe we'll figure out more by the end of the year about that. But no, they've officially, as if we didn't know already, put the death knell in the 3DS. It's in the coffin, bury it. It ain't coming back like The Undertaker. We got the Nintendo Switch Lite. Will be released on September 20th is when it's coming out.
I can't believe this. This is the most tragic thing I've ever heard.
It means it weighs less.
How can I parse that cryptic name?
L-I-T-E.
No,
it's light. You know, it's like the diet soda of the Nintendo Switch.
Does it glow?
Yeah, the screen does.
Oh.
There you go. So yeah, it's basically a smaller, more handheld version of the Switch. It's more for, especially in Japan, mobile gaming is so big, and this seems geared more towards the Japanese market, to be honest.
Like, I think, does mobile gross more than, like, consoles? I think it does.
Yeah, way more in Japan. Like phone games are
absolutely
ridiculously...
Well, just phone and handheld games.
Yeah. Like, that's where because you always see the handhelds sell, like, and sometimes, like, way better than the consoles do. Most often it's because the Japanese sells, because Japanese people commute a lot, they ride subways, they don't drive a lot, they have longer work days, they're not at home a lot, so they get a lot of their gaming done on the go, so that's why mobile gaming is so popular in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Not surprised.
Yeah, so they're releasing the Nintendo Switch Lite, which is... I'm a little disappointed it's only 3 colors. I don't really like any of the color options they gave. There's a gray one, a yellow one, and a turquoise, I think. Some kind of light blue.
Something like that. Yeah.
They're also doing a Pokemon Sword and Shield version, of which I think looks the best, honestly. Color-wise. It's more of a silvery. It's got the 2 legendaries on the back.
Lighter gray with the
Pokemon Swish
outlines. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this thing's retailing for $199, so it's $100 cheaper than the normal version. So if you're looking to get into the Switch, this is definitely the most economic way to do it. But that comes with some caveats. Obviously, being a handheld,
caveats.
It does not have detachable Joy-Cons, but it did add a D-pad, so that's good. The screen's smaller. I think. God, what was the size? 5.5 inches compared to the Switch's 6.2. I'm, by the way, reading off of Brian Ashcraft's report on this on Kotaku, so this is where I just want to properly quote this information. It is going to have a slightly longer battery life, they said, but it's not going to be like super significant. A lot of the rumored, Mao and I were talking about this earlier, a lot of the rumored kind of like Switch Pro, it's not going to be more graphical, it's going to be more performance, so a little bit better CPU and a little bit better battery life. And battery life's mostly what I would care about.
I think this one has a bit better battery life.
It does. It's not...
But just a little bit.
Maybe like half an hour to an hour, I think, is what they said. It's not like a significant amount, but it does have a different one, battery life. So you can't... The handheld version, the Switch Lite, you cannot dock it. There's no dock mode. You can't detach Joy-Cons and play with it, so there's no need for a kickstand on the Switch Lite. Handheld only, but you can connect wireless controller. So if you have Joy-Cons for games like 1-2 Switch and stuff like that, games where you gotta use motion controls, you can sync it. You're just gonna have to prop your Switch up against something because it doesn't have a kickstand. Which they should have made a better kickstand for it, in my opinion.
You think they would have?
But hey, man, Nintendo's zany. They do what they do, and sometimes it's just baffling and makes no sense.
I saw some people wondering if the non-detachable Joy-Cons are going to be like a big problem because the Joy-Cons have has bad joysticks. Like,
yeah,
a lot of the joysticks have gone bad, I guess. Like, it's just a known thing. Like, and if you can't take off the Joy-Cons, you're just left with, non-working controllers attached to your Switch.
Yeah, which is not great. So yeah, they got a handy dandy little chart. The Switch itself is only 3.6 inches high, 8.2 inches long, and 0.55 inches deep. As compared to the normal one, it's 4 inches high, 9.4 long, 0.55 deep. So the same depth. I would say it probably looks about 20% smaller than the normal Switch, maybe 25, something like that. It weighs about 0.2 pounds less. I've seen a lot of people who got to actually hold it say it was like fairly noticeable after playing on it for a little bit. And it's not compatible with every Nintendo Switch game.
That's
either.
Interesting.
There will be warnings on the online store that'll say if it's supported or not before you buy it. It just won't let you buy a game that you can't play on it without warning you first.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah, and they are doing I believe they said they're doing it comes with a Breath of the Wild, or at least a bundle of sorts, and it
yeah, probably.
And Ashcraft said it coincidentally releases on the same day as Link's Awakening remake, so we might get a bundle there as well. Nintendo also, in a separate article, announced that this is the only version of the Switch alternate version that's coming out this year.
Good.
So that's pretty much all the details about it. I want to ask you guys to kind of like bundle, I guess, these two things together. Are we pretty much sure they're going to do a quote-unquote Switch Pro? If so, how much more do you think it'll be, and what do you think the specs will be on it? And what would you like to see in one? Like, what would it take to get you to potentially purchase one? Maybe. Because I'm probably going to get one if they do it, as long as it's not, like, ridiculously more expensive. Like, $50 to $100 more, sure. But more than that, it gets a bit iffy depending on what all we're adding onto it. So what would be ideal for you guys?
I don't know. I'm kind of content with what I have, and unless there is a real big reason, there's got to be like a pretty potent reason to like.
It would have to.
Hypothetically, what would it take?
It would have to play games that I couldn't already play for me personally. I never have bought in the upgraded versions of consoles. I'm fine with like what I have
the regular PlayStation too.
Yeah, I
think the only other time I've ever picked up, like I'm kind of with Mal on this one. The only time I've ever picked up a console that is a better version of itself was the PS4 Pro, and that was specifically because rumors and news was coming out that games were going to have the option to potentially lock the frame rate if you played on a PS4 Pro. And I was like, well, I like playing my games on a very steady frame rate, so I will absolutely, if that's part of like what comes with it, then absolutely I'll buy the newer version of it just so that I can lock like a game down at 60 frames per second. And then, the hell with the graphics or the resolution. I want my sweet frame rate. So
yeah, I mean, and that's more what you're like. At a certain point, who cares if it's 30 or 60? It's more about stability. And that is something that honestly is notable in some of the Switch games. You get lots of dips in frame rate. So a better CPU would be really nice.
If we see the new Switch come out and they can guarantee that games that come out for like the sweet Switch Pro is going to be able to lock down those frame rates, then I might pick it up. That might truly convince me, but it's going to have to be something solid like that. And as we saw with PS4 Pro, that didn't always equate to the case either. Not all the games have that on the PS4 Pro. It's just not something that they implement because that's per the developer.
Yeah. So, even if it were the same price or cheaper, even I probably wouldn't pick it up because I've already spent money on the console and I don't want to do that again.
And that's kind of the other problem. Is like then you got to go spend money on the console.
You got to sell it.
Yeah, and then you got to sell the other one and try to get somebody to convince it when the new one is coming out, and it's like, ugh.
Yeah,
that's nuts. That's a lot of hassle.
I only have played 2 games on my Switch so far.
I've got like 2 or 3 games. That's the same thing. Like I don't.
Y'all need to play some Octopath Traveler.
Right.
To be fair, I'm about to pick up a 200-hour game in a few days.
That's true. It's basically 3 games in one.
Yeah. So I mean, like I'm glad I have my Switch, I guess, already. Like, a game I want is about to come out, but before now, like,
and Pokemon now. Don't forget about Pokemon.
That's in November.
There's 2 games this year.
Oh, that is
that's a lot
more than I've bought so far.
Called your bluff
this year.
For me, yeah, the big thing is
battery life for you, right?
Battery life is so big.
You do take it.
I do actually play it a decent amount, not docked. Like I like to take it to work and play it on lunch.
Would you have gotten
this
Lite?
To my buddy's house, like.
Would you have considered getting the Lite if it had like, you know,
if it could dock,
extra battery life?
If it could dock and it had extra battery life, then yes.
I see.
It still has the. I think people are wondering if they can do rigs on it because it still has the USB-C port on the bottom.
Right.
And that's basically
that's what
all.
I was wondering,
like people are thinking if there's like an adapter way you can do it to actually get it to dock outside of.
It might. I wouldn't be surprised though if it was like a software limitation that you might have to like jailbreak it or whatever they're called. What are they? Yeah. Whatever.
Hack your Switch, basically.
Yeah. Basically, hack it to get it done. Like put a homebrew on it.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Nintendo always like comes out with multiple versions of their stuff. Like when they did the 3DS, they eventually did the 3DS XL, and then they did the 2DS, and they always want to give like a cheaper alternative for like kids and stuff like that too, and like multiple kid households. Sometimes parents like, you know, you want to invest, you want both your kids if they're into gaming to have. Like me and my brother back in the day, we both had to have Game Boys, so it's always nice that there's like they come up with like cheaper alternatives and stuff. So
yeah.
How much did they say again that the battery power for the new version would be increased by?
It's like only half an hour. It says approximately 2.5 to 6.5 hours for the old one. The 3 to 7. See, like terrible. two more would be better.
You get an hour longer on their Breath of the Wild test. Like the original Switch did 3 hours on Breath of the Wild. The new one will do 4. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just depends on how much it uses the CPU, the game, like how demanding it is on the system ultimately. That's why I always took a charge thing with me. I mean, if you have a Switch and you play it not in dock mode ever, like I would just generally recommend picking up one of those USB-C battery things. Like they're cheap. They make your Switch literally like triple its battery life. They're just worth it. So like the technology, like they could do something to make it more. I think that's just not like where they're focused. It's just weird that the handheld version is only so many more. But I don't know. I'm not a tech master whiz guy, and the 3DS, man, that thing would last like 10 to 15 hours.
Yeah. Well, the bigger screen is just such a huge thing. Mm-hmm. Like the screen size really doesn't. It's not a direct. Like it's not a simple double the screen, half the battery life sort of.
And thing. I don't know if this one does it too, because on the normal model of the Switch, you obviously have like the Joy-Cons drain battery as well. Like I don't know if how that works on this one, since they're not technically Joy-Cons. Yeah, I think they drain battery. That's how they charge, is by charging on the actual system's battery. I could be wrong. I don't know, but that's what I surmise, anyways.
Yeah, being $100 cheaper, I'm not sure if that's enough. Like, you only have to spend $100 and you can hook up to a TV. Like,
yeah,
like it really is for people who have no interest in hooking it up to their TV.
Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, it is a significant amount of money, but still, it's more like, do you prefer the handheld? Are you going to mostly play it on the go? Then get the one with slightly better battery life and
right. Well, usually, I don't know.
But that option is nice to have.
Yeah, it's not like the old decisions though, where you're like handheld or console. Like if you get the $300 Switch, you have both.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's
like it's weird because I've seen a lot of game sites and stuff do polls to say how do you mostly play your Switch, doctor, and most people play it on the go. Weirdly, I mean, because I'm sure it just depends on the city you live into. Because we also have cities where people take public transit and commute and stuff like that, and like most people who write for game sites are in tech cities, so with lots of commuting, like San Francisco and stuff. I think, like, if you watch people talk about it who live out there, a lot of them are, like, that's why they love the Switch, is because they, play it on the bus and stuff like that. And they get, like, a actual, like, decent-looking games. And they're just doing a better job than Sony did with the Vita. So,
That's not hard.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm curious if Sony's going to try and get back in handheld stuff like this. There's been rumors that there's like prototypes floating around, but I doubt it at this point since they're focusing on the PS5, unless it's going to be some weird, like, kind of like Microsoft I think is doing, where it's you like sync it into your phone or like tablet technology. I doubt they're going to come out with their own like hardware. It's probably going to be
the future will be streaming, right?
The future will be streaming, totally.
So saith Google. But yeah, that's there's not a whole lot of info out. I mean, there's not a lot to really parse through. It's just cool that we finally got like a confirmation about a new model. And
I am surprised that the rumors for the Lite and then like a Pro type version dropped at like the same time, but we've only gotten the Lite only the the lighter one has been confirmed.
Yeah, and I was saying I'm surprised they didn't sync it up with Pokemon rather than that, but I don't know. I don't study game markets and all that.
Yeah, I mean they're coming out with a version like a bundle, like I don't know.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know why. Like, it's a month sooner, right? Or 2 months sooner.
Yeah, Pokemon's November.
Yeah, 2 months sooner. I don't know what benefit that gets them, like waiting till November.
Yeah. I don't know. It just seems like something they would have done potentially, but since that's like one of their huge IPs, obviously. So, but I don't know. I don't work for Nintendo. I'm not the Bowser man. I'm not. I don't know. I don't know the president. I knew Iwata, but he's gone now. Rest in peace.
You're telling me that you've never shaken hands with Bowser before?
No. Nor Reggie, much to my dismay. My body will never be Reggie.
Wow, you should have told me this, dude. I'll have to invite you onto our weekly lunches that we go out to.
You fly out to...
every week. I just fly out there, casually have lunch with them.
Fly out to Seattle.
Yeah, no problem.
Renton, Washington, I think it's it.
I think it's in Washington, Seattle,
yeah. So cool they're doing this. Nintendo always does this. This was very expected. I want to see the specs on this this Pro version. What will they call it? Will it be bigger? Give me that battery life.
I mean, it could just be the Switch Plus,
Switch XL. Switch Plus makes sense. It's even got a little plus on. It's like the start button.
I would not be surprised if they called it Switch Pro. I would not even be absolutely surprised.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to gift you guys like Octopath Traveler or something. Actually, to get y'all to play that. Game is so good.
I can't remember if I've actually bought it already or not. So
you're playing Final Fantasy V now. It's basically the same thing,
right? But so I should stop playing 5?
No, you should finish 5.
You're telling me that I should stop playing Final Fantasy V?
It's like Final Fantasy V with better music.
Probably
a bit lesser of a story, but better music. So, anyways. All right, this has been episode 86 of Podcast of Five Rings, your source of enlightenment in the realm of video games, tabletop, anime, film, and tech. Each episode of Podcast of Five Rings releases Monday mornings on iTunes and SoundCloud, and Talk About Topic day by day on YouTube, with the full video releasing on Friday. Check us out on social media. We're on Twitter at Podcast5R, Facebook P5R Podcast, Men and Lily Stream, twitch.tv/PSOFlow, Tetsuo's blog, thegeekyspirit.com. He had some painting articles out recently, and they were pretty good for beginners. So if you want to get into mini painting, I suggest you check out that site. Or you go to Gen Con and you sign up for one of the paint courses.
Yeah, you can do that too.
That are all sold out by now because I actually looked at them. Or at least the good one, the ones that I don't care about a course all about using glazes.
They're definitely sold out.
Sure. Yeah, all the interesting ones are sold out by now.
Here's how you make bases.
I'm only signed up for See, that would be a cool one. That's one I'd actually want to do, like a basing one.
I know like what they mean by base, but I kind of want it to be like, first you need to find a good plot of land that you can build your base on. Now you're gonna want to choose a spot that's easily defensible.
for dirt and grass and rocks, right? No, you want to defend it. What are you talking about? No, you want to defend it.
Preferably, if you
secret base, it's got to be hidden.
Find a spot with a cliff on the back of it. Makes it very hard for
behind a waterfall, a cave.
Very secretive spot.
Yeah. Gen Con's almost amongst us, Meta. We're almost there. 3 weeks. I'm ready for it. Even though I'm only signed up for like 3 events right now. I got a special surprise maybe. Well, it's not really that cool, but we'll see if it pans. It depends. Yeah, it depends on certain.
I'm really liking this. This sounds great.
It depends on certain things happening, but I don't know. But tangentially Gen Con
wrap
related.
This up. Bring us home.
Yeah, I'm not making any sense. We'll see you guys next time for Final Fantasy talk. I'm gonna go play more Final Fantasy.
All right, I'll finish 5.
All right.